Hi guys. Sorry, I was taking a drink out of my soda. Anyways, today is a Larry Johnson X listener from Sally Face. A lot of people have been wanting me to do a part 2 for the other episode I did, or the Sal Fisher one. I'm thinking about it and I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna do, but anyways, I have an idea for Larry. So there are going to be a couple trigger warnings. It's going to be an abused listener. So there's going to be mentions of abuse, bruising, cuts, cutting, knives, hitting. There might be a few yelling. There's going to be a lot of cuss words and probably using the word fag. Yeah, there. I'm just going to say it. Yes, there is going to be using the word fag in this, but not from Travis. It's going to come from your abuser. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. So, yeah, let's get into it. As you woke up from a night that you would rather not remember, sleeping next to you was your boyfriend. You knew you couldn't leave him even after what he was doing, but you really, really wanted to. You slowly got out of bed and quietly got dressed, hoping not to wake him up. You started to walk downstairs when all of a sudden you heard your name called. Listener, where do you think you're going? Huh? The hell do you mean it's none of my fucking business? Are you gonna go and hang out with that Larry guy? Because if you are, I won't hesitate to slap you. You're not going out with him. I told you I don't want you around him anymore. Why? Because, listener, he's obviously trying to take you from me. Now, where are you going? Out with Ashley? Alright. Be back home before 5 so you can get dinner ready. You're lucky I'm even letting you go out. Sometimes I wish I didn't date a fag like you. You watched as he turned around and slowly stumbled back to the room. You knew he was a bad man, but he was the only one that loved you. At least, the only one that you thought loved you in a way that you wanted to be. Before he could change his mind about letting you go out, you quickly ran out the door. Quickly wiping the tears from your eyes, hoping not to mess up your makeup that you used to cover all of the bruises that you had on your face from the night before. You lied to him. You weren't going to go hang out with Ashley. You were actually going to go hang out with Larry, the guy he didn't want you hanging out with. You couldn't just say no. Larry's been your best friend since elementary school. You've known each other for years. You couldn't just up and leave him one day. You got to his apartment and knocked on his door, waiting for him to answer as you quickly faked a smile when his door opened. Oh, listener, hey, how are you? Nice, come on. I have popcorn and a movie ready for us. Yeah, it was the movie that came out in theaters a couple weeks ago. Yeah, my mom somehow got like a DVD to it or something. I don't know. She's like magical. Yeah. But it was the movie that you wanted to go see. So I just thought like, oh, know what? To make it up to you for not being able to go see it last week, I brought it here. Yeah, it's in my room. You can go ahead and get comfortable on my bed. I just have to finish making this popcorn. And yeah. There is a trigger warning I forgot to put in place. Mentions of self-harm. You guys will not be self-harming in this, but there will be mentions of you guys self-harming in the past coming up. Anyways, thought I would let you guys know. Let's get into it. You walked into Larry's room, noticing all his posters and stuff all around his room. You went over to his bed, which was really just a fold-out bed from a couch, because he didn't want an actual bed. As you sat down, it was a lot comfier than you normally remember it being. Must have set it up for the special occasion. Your stuff was by the bed, next to you, as you sat there and waited for Larry. Finally, Larry came in with the popcorn, crawled over you and sat down next to you, putting the popcorn in between you guys. A little bit into the movie, you started to get hot, surprisingly, because, well, Larry's room is always really cold, and you have to wear like 30 sweatshirts while you're in there. But you started to get hot. You wanted to take off your sweater, but you couldn't. You couldn't risk Larry seeing, well, the cuts you have given yourself and the bruises your boyfriend has given you. You started to shift around in your seat as you were trying to find a way to cool yourself down when Larry looked at you. Hey, you okay, man? You don't seem alright. Oh, you're hot? Just take off your sweater. What do you mean you can't? Listener, why can't you take off your sweater? Is it like you're not wearing a shirt under there? Because, like, I can give you one of mine. Okay, you just don't want to. Okay, yeah, I completely understand, dude. Don't worry. But if you start to get a little too hot and you don't have a shirt under there, I'll give you one of mine. Okay. I'll watch the fucking movie. After the movie, it was about 4:30. You had about 20 minutes left with Larry before you had to go home. Or else your boyfriend would probably do a lot more than just hitting and punching. You started to do the dishes, but your sleeves got in the way. You were finally fed up with it, and you quickly rolled them up and started doing the dishes, totally forgetting about the cuts and bruises all up and down your arms. When Larry looked at you and asked what happened to your arms. Hey man, what's on your arms? No, hey, don't roll down your sleeves. Let me see them. No, because they looked horribly injured. Yeah, I know fucking big words. Now let me see your arms. Listener, let me see your arms. Please. If you refuse to give me your arms, I will grab them forcefully. Not wanting to stir up the pot even more, you gave in to him and rolled up your sleeves and showed him your arms. On the outside, your arms were covered from black and blue bruises. On the underside, there were a lot on each arm, full of tiny cuts. Some fresh, some old, some healed, but they were there. Larry studied them for a bit, noticing that some of them were made from knives, others were made from razor blades, some were cut deep and some were cut shallow. He finally looked up at you and muttered, Who did this to you. You didn't say anything, but you just looked away. Larry asked one more time. You didn't give a response. Finally, he let go of your arms and started to grab all of his stuff. You looked at him and asked what the hell was he doing. Listener, did your boyfriend give you those bruises? You looked up at him and slowly nodded. He then said, what about the cuts? You answered, some of them. He looked at you again and said, who gave you the others? You didn't respond. You couldn't tell him. He'd think you were a freak. Doing that to yourself? Are you kidding? He walked up to you and he grabbed your face to make you look up at him. Listener, listen to me. If you did those to yourself, I want you to know it's not weird. It's not different. I will still see you the same way. I will still love you the same way I do. He had mumbled something under his breath after that last sentence, but you didn't catch it. He quickly let go of your face and started grabbing all of his stuff and put on his shoes as he grabbed your hands, not wanting to hurt your wrists even more as much as they were hurting right now, and started walking down the street. It was about 4:35, and Larry asked, when does your boyfriend get off work? You said about 4:45. He doesn't get home until about 4:50. Larry had said that would be enough time, and you asked enough time for what? He turned around and looked at you and said, we're getting you out of there, listener. You're going to live with me. We're going to call the cops, and he's going to be taken away. You were relieved, so you didn't say anything. You were glad that Larry was trying to get you out of there, and he was. You got to your house. You guys got to your house as Larry took you upstairs, and you grabbed some clothes and some of your makeup and a couple of other things. When you heard a car pull up, you looked out the window of your bedroom as you saw your boyfriend's car parked outside. You ushered to Larry that you guys had to go out the back door. So you grabbed all of your stuff quickly and ran down the stairs and towards the back door. You let Larry out first, since, well, if your boyfriend saw him in the house, you and him were both dead. You followed after Larry and ran down the street. You're glad you didn't take Larry's car, or else, well, your boyfriend would have saw his car and would have probably gotten pissed. A trail behind your guys' house led straight to where the back door to the apartments that led, well, straight to Larry's room was. Larry took out a key, unlocked it, let you in. You both walked down the stairs to his room. He grabbed your things and set them down on the bed. He said that he had made a little space for you in his closet, just in case if you ever needed to get out of somewhere or if you needed anything. You were happy that he was, well, prepared for something like this. You smiled at him, and you started to put your clothes to where Larry had made the room. Larry had left the room at this point, and you were thinking about the times back in high school. The times when you guys would play Truth or Dare and make funny fucking things and funny dares. You thought about the times when you guys would prank the residents of the Edison's apartments back when you guys were in elementary school. You thought about the first time you were up in the treehouse with him. You also thought about the first time you gained a crush on him. It was actually up in that treehouse. You guys were doing something fucking hilarious, and he had done something that kind of triggered it. You never told him, of course. I mean, how could he like someone like you? But deep down, you knew he was a good friend. You snapped out of your thoughts when you heard a voice come from Larry's door. You looked to see Larry standing there. He slightly waved to you, and you ran up and hugged him. And you started to sob. He had held you there for a bit as well. You finally got the courage. You looked up at him, went on your tips, grabbed his face, and pulled him into a kiss. The kiss lasted for about 10 seconds. It's the best kiss of your life. After you pulled away, you said, "Let that be a thank you, Larry." As you walked away and went to go finish putting your clothes back, Larry's head was all over the place at that point. Not only did he have a crush, and still has a crush on you, but he knew that that was a point where his life would change for the better. Where he would be able to see you more than just a friend. He walked into the room, closing the door behind him, knowing that if anything happened, if anything went wrong, he would be able to save you. And that's the end. So I hope you guys liked it. God, these are getting so long. I know a lot of you guys like the long ones, because that just means you get more of the character. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your morning, day, or night. Bye-bye.